Good morning, welcome to my channel. This is my front yard, the end of April. I planted some hostas. They were in a container, been in the container for about 3 years, so I decided to plant them in the ground. They were a little bit root bound. I hope they like it here. I've also planted nasturtiums. My house is white with black shutters, and I planted all red blooming flowers this year. So everything in the front yard will bloom red. Got some ground cover right here also. My irises, they bloom white. They've already bloomed. This is a little plant that I found, I think it was at Lowe's. It will mound up about 2 to 3 feet. This is a barberry. It did not do well. I had it on the other end of this bed last year and it just did not do well. So I transplanted it this spring here and it looks like it's a little bit happier. Hopefully it will give me some red color in the fall. This is a strawberry bush. Doesn't produce strawberries, but the flowers are red. It's a native, and I'm hoping that it'll do very well there. It's supposed to be able to get 5 feet high and 5 feet wide. These are the little buds, but they will eventually be red blooms all over the shrub as it grows. And hopefully, with it being a native, it will do very well here with very little care. It's a very hot spot during the day, so we'll see how well it can handle the heat. Hydrangea I planted about 3 years ago. It's just now starting to bloom. This is my flora for fall color. It's a miniature, so it will not get any bigger than 2 or 3 feet high in front of the green shrubs. This little beauty will turn red. I think there was about 14 of them I planted. Let's see how well they do in the sun. I have some of them in the shade, some of them in the sun. This bed gets a little bit of both. This little gem right here will turn red. There's some nasturtiums. They're also red. I also planted some red tiger lilies in this bed, so they'll come up at some point. I've got a soaker hose to help with the water. This is my rose. It was a rose grafted. It was supposed to be a round ball. I planted it 20 years ago, and there's no way to keep it compact anymore. It vines within a week after I trim it, so I just gave into it, added it to a trellis, and I'm just going to let it climb. This is another native. Hopefully it'll do well. Require very little water. I transplanted some of the iris in this bed. This is my pawpaw tree. I planted a couple months ago. Looks like it's happy. The yucca, they grow and multiply in this bed. I'm constantly pulling them out. More hostas, a little bit of a ground cover. A little bit of sedum I planted. It seems to be very happy there. It's doubled in size in 2 weeks. So I think it will probably survive very well there. little bit more of that ground cover. The hosta. And my society garlic. This is in front of the lower petalum. The yellow will give it a pop of color in the fall against the purple lower petalum. More of the red nasturtium. Another native. I also have lilies planted in this bed. I planted those last year. There's a little bit more nasturtium. They're just now coming up. I planted them 3 weeks ago. This is the same bed. I planted at the back of it a half moon with cannas that bloom red and lilies, 3 different types of lilies that have red, and then 50 glads that will come up in a half moon shape and bloom all red, and hopefully they'll hold each other up with their foliage. There's my another native, blue-eyed grass.